You dreamed marriage would bring peace. Instead, you're sitting in your car, dreading the walk inside. No respect, no intimacy, just responsibility without appreciation. What if I told you this isn't failure? It's the system working exactly as designed. Before you say I do, watch this. Because what you don't know about marriage could cost you everything. Welcome to the realm of Stoic love. To motivate us to make more useful videos, please subscribe to the channel and share with your friends. Remember to like and leave a comment. Whatever it is, your feedback will help us learn from you and grow. Now let's explore the wonderful things ahead together. Envision this. You are 35 years into your journey, having shared 8 years of partnership, and now you find yourself in your car, parked in the driveway, reflecting after yet another long 12-hour workday. There's a reluctance to enter your own home, where intimacy has faded and your presence feels overlooked. Interactions with your family often devolve into disputes over insignificant matters. You put in relentless effort to support your family, yet you find yourself feeling like an outsider in your own space. One reflects, pondering the journey that led to this moment. I believed that marriage would bring me happiness. I believed this was the true embodiment of success. Consider this. What if I revealed that this situation is not an anomaly, but rather the standard? Consider the possibility that the contemporary structure of marriage may have been crafted in a way that undermines men's contentment, depletes their resources, and diminishes their sense of control. What if I suggested that the most prudent choice for a man in today's society is to forego marriage entirely? Today, I will share an unvarnished perspective on why marriage presents significant challenges for men in the modern era. Let me illustrate how society has shifted the concept of marriage from a collaborative union to a confining structure, and why those men who choose to steer clear of marriage are, in fact, the most astute individuals in this scenario. This may be difficult to accept, particularly if you are already in a marriage or contemplating one. To safeguard your happiness, resources, and peace of mind, it is essential to grasp these fundamental truths. The individuals who disregard this counsel often find themselves facing divorce, financial ruin, and personal despair. The individuals who grasp what I am about to share are those who preserve their autonomy, their prosperity, and their tranquility. Focus closely, for the knowledge you are about to receive may prevent you from making a grave error in your life. Let us begin by addressing the most essential issue facing contemporary marriage. It turns individuals into mere cogs in the machine. This is not an exaggeration. It reflects the reality faced by most married men in contemporary society. Here is the contemporary approach to marriage. Upon rising at 6 a.m., you engage in a demanding workday lasting 8 to 10 hours. Upon returning home, fatigue sets in, yet the expectation remains to seamlessly transition into the role of a household helper. It is your responsibility to maintain order by cleaning, cooking, managing laundry, assisting with homework, and overseeing all household maintenance tasks. In this moment, you find yourself without a meal prepared, lacking recognition for your efforts, and devoid of any influence over household decisions. You have effectively taken on the role of a constant worker within your own residence. You are managing the demands of 2 full-time roles, one in the workplace and another at home, all while lacking the advantages that marriage has historically offered to men. Consider this with reason and clarity. Historically, marriage represented a union in which each individual contributed distinct value to the partnership. The man offered resources and safeguarding, while the woman contributed domestic support and nurturing care. Each role held its own significance and commanded respect. However, contemporary marriage has diminished the role of women while amplifying the responsibilities of men. There is an expectation for you to fulfill the role of the primary provider, while simultaneously taking on responsibilities as a co-housekeeper, co-parent, and emotional support for others. In the meantime, your wife has the liberty to chase her own career, explore her interests, and strive for her own goals without any expectation of reciprocation from you. This illustrates the common experience among married men who often find themselves feeling drained, undervalued, and harboring resentment. They are not without merit. They are individuals who have been deceived into embracing an inherently unjust situation. There exists a psychological truth that society often overlooks. Respect is as vital to men as oxygen itself. This is a necessity. It is ingrained in the essence of male psychology. When a man lacks respect, he starts to decline in emotional, mental, and even physical well-being. This is the reason why individuals strive diligently to attain success in their professional endeavors. It is the reason behind their yearning for wealth, symbols of prestige, and roles of power. True value lies beyond material possessions. It revolves around gaining the esteem of those around you and the world you inhabit. Yet there lies a harsh irony. The institution that is meant to honor men, marriage, has instead become a realm where they often find the least respect. In a contemporary union, the man's viewpoints are often overlooked, his choices are scrutinized, and his leadership is consistently challenged. He is regarded as someone requiring oversight, rather than as an equal whose insights are respected. Allow me to present a specific illustration. A man dedicates 60 hours each week to provide a comfortable home for his family. Upon returning home and proposing a re-evaluation of a significant purchase, his wife dismissively rolls her eyes, asserting that he fails to grasp the family's true needs. His extensive life experience and position as the main provider hold no weight in this discussion. This pattern is so prevalent that many individuals fail to see it as a form of disrespect. Consider the consequences of treating your superior in such a manner at your workplace, or how you might approach a client in a similar fashion in your professional dealings. Immediate termination would be the outcome, as it is universally acknowledged that respect is essential for healthy relationships. In the realm of marriage, it seems that showing disrespect towards your husband has shifted from being frowned upon to becoming a norm that is anticipated. Women are urged to assert themselves, to resist being dominated, and to take charge of their own choices. All of this suggests disregarding your husband's feelings whenever it suits you. Contemporary society appears to be undertaking a deliberate initiative to diminish male authority within the household structure. This is not a matter of chance. It has been intentionally woven into the fabric of our culture through media, education, and social conditioning. Engage with any television show or film, and you will observe a recurring pattern that unfolds time and again. The father is depicted as a misguided figure, lacking the wisdom to make sound choices, while the mother stands as the rational and competent force, tasked with rectifying his blunders. This programming has become so ingrained that the majority of individuals hardly recognize its presence any longer. The observation is straightforward. Individuals often display a lack of wisdom, selflessness, and capability when it comes to holding genuine authority within their own households. The woman should hold the ultimate authority in all matters, whether it be finances, child upbringing, or the management of the household. However, this programming overlooks a crucial aspect. True authority lies not in exerting control, but in embracing the weight of responsibility. To strip a man of his authority is to also strip him of his capacity to safeguard his family's welfare. He is becoming a mere observer in his own journey. This engenders a mental conflict that undermines the well-being of individuals. They bear the weight of their family's financial security, yet they are denied the authority to make financial decisions. They bear the responsibility of safeguarding their family, yet they are denied the authority to establish the guidelines that ensure that safety. They are meant to hold the title of head of household, yet their authority to lead is merely a facade. This illustrates the reasons behind the feelings of helplessness and frustration that many married men experience. They are facing responsibility for results beyond their influence. It's akin to being appointed as the leader of an organization, yet being stripped of the power to make any significant choices. When examined through a rational lens, contemporary marriage presents men with minimal benefits and significant dangers. Let us examine the balance between costs and benefits with clarity and reason. Companionship, attainable through the pursuit of dating. Consistent intimacy, which tends to diminish significantly following the commitment of marriage. One can choose to have children outside the bounds of marriage. Social approval is fleeting, lasting merely a moment. Half of your assets in the event of a marital dissolution. Possible alimony obligations extending over years or even decades. Decline of control within your own household. Reduced connection in the realm of intimacy. Heightened pressure and obligations. Restricted autonomy and adaptability. Consider the possibility of diminished access to your children in the event of a divorce. When viewed with clarity, what reasonable individual would agree to this arrangement? By entering this agreement, you are essentially relinquishing your freedom, your authority, and possibly a significant portion of your wealth in return for, what is it precisely? The enduring advantages of the marital bond. Support within the home, fidelity in relationships, and societal balance have been methodically dismantled, while the burdens and dangers have been significantly heightened. It's akin to committing to a purchase of a vehicle devoid of an engine, lacking any warranty, and bound to a payment plan that stretches into eternity. Here lies the reason for the decline in marriage rates among educated, successful men. They embrace commitment without hesitation. They possess the discernment to identify an unfavorable arrangement when it presents itself. One of the most challenging aspects of contemporary unions is the occurrence of marriages devoid of intimacy. Statistics indicate that a significant portion of marriages, ranging from 20 to 40%, experience a lack of intimacy, with couples engaging in intimate relations fewer than 10 times annually. Consider the mental effects this may have on men. You dedicate yourself to one partner, relinquishing all other possibilities, only to find that she slowly pulls away from the very essence that inspired your devotion from the beginning. This transcends mere physical requirements. It revolves around the sense of being valued and recognized. When your partner withdraws their sexual interest, it conveys a distinct signal about your perceived attractiveness and desirability, prompting reflection on your worth in the relationship. It represents a profound dismissal that strikes at the essence of what it means to be a man. Yet, there lies a harsh reality. Do not seek validation from external sources. You find yourself in a circumstance where your needs remain unfulfilled, yet you are restricted from seeking fulfillment elsewhere. You find yourself navigating a path marked by unfulfilled desires and the weight of emotional distance. Numerous individuals seek to tackle this by expressing their needs, enhancing their romantic gestures, or even pursuing counseling. However, these attempts often fall short, as the root issue lies beyond mere communication. The core framework of contemporary marriage diminishes women's motivation to sustain attraction and exert effort. When women feel a sense of complete security and understand that their partner is unlikely to depart, they frequently cease to invest the necessary effort that attraction demands. What reason could they possibly have? They possess all they desire: financial stability, social standing, and emotional backing, yet they do so without fulfilling their obligations. One of the most troubling elements of this situation is the extent to which society has conditioned both men and women to embrace this unhealthy dynamic. This conditioning starts in early life and permeates every facet of our society. In educational settings, young males are often instructed that traditional masculinity is harmful and that they should stifle their inherent instincts for leadership and authority. They are led to believe that seeking respect is a relic of the past and that true fulfillment comes from selflessly serving others without the need for acknowledgement. The media perpetuates this narrative by consistently depicting traditional masculinity as malevolent and those who seek authority as oppressive. A man who seeks respect from his wife often finds himself unjustly branded as controlling or misogynistic. Even the framework of our legal system has been constructed to uphold this programming. Family courts frequently lean towards women in custody disputes. Divorce settlements tend to benefit women irrespective of the situation, and domestic violence laws are structured with the presumption that men are invariably the aggressors. This programming is so effective that many individuals remain unaware of the subtle influences at play. They endure disrespect as if it is a given. They express remorse for having needs, and they carry guilt for desiring to be treated with dignity in their own spaces. The outcome is a cohort of individuals who have experienced a profound diminishment of their psychological strength. They navigate existence settling for less than their worth, having been led to believe that desiring more renders them unworthy. Here is a fundamental insight about the human mind that remains elusive to many. Persistent disregard can lead to profound feelings of despair in men. This goes beyond mere sadness. It is a profound mental health issue that can result in severe consequences, such as suicide, addiction, and aggressive behavior. When a man endures a continual lack of respect, his mind starts to retreat. He experiences a decline in motivation, energy, and hope. He begins to reflect on his own value and abilities. Over time, this form of psychological mistreatment manifests symptoms akin to those of severe depression. Domestic violence statistics can often present a distorted view of reality. They concentrate on physical abuse, overlooking the profound psychological damage that persistent disrespect inflicts. A man who faces constant belittlement, dismissal, and undermining from his wife is enduring a form of abuse, even in the absence of physical harm. It is profoundly disheartening that society not only overlooks this form of abuse, but actively fosters it. Women are led to believe that showing disrespect towards their husbands equates to empowerment, while men who seek respect are viewed as fragile or insecure. However, one must acknowledge that disrespect profoundly harms the human psyche. It is the force that compels individuals toward extreme actions, dependency, and at times, aggression. When you methodically undermine a person's sense of value and respect, you are handling a volatile situation. This explains why numerous married men express feelings of depression, anxiety, and hopelessness. They are not lacking in strength. They are individuals enduring psychological torment within the confines of their own homes. In situations where men encounter marriages devoid of respect and authority, they often react in one of three distinct manners: confront, retreat, or remain still. Confront the challenge. Some individuals seek to establish their dominance through confrontation. They engage in debate, assert their worth, and seek to define their limits. This often leads to negative consequences, as society tends to categorize any expression of male authority as abusive or domineering. These individuals frequently find themselves in divorce proceedings, depicted as the antagonist. Response of avoidance. Some individuals choose to walk away. They depart from the marriage, often neglecting their children and duties. Society may label these individuals as failures, yet many are simply those who have reached their limit in enduring psychological torment. Maintain composure. Most individuals opt to remain stagnant. They withdraw emotionally, cease the struggle for respect, and simply endure the circumstances. They exist as mere shadows of who they once were, mechanically navigating the landscape of marriage while experiencing an internal decline. All of these responses may lack healthiness, yet they are entirely foreseeable reactions to a challenging circumstance. When a man finds himself stripped of authority, respect, and the option to retreat, he will inevitably respond in one of three ways. It is unfortunate that society holds men accountable for all three responses, failing to acknowledge the inherent flaws within the system itself. Men face scrutiny for standing their ground, judged for walking away, and ridiculed for surrendering. There is no response that can be deemed acceptable. This is the most challenging aspect of the entire situation. The answer is straightforward, yet few are willing to take action on it. To foster happiness in marriage, one must prioritize fundamental respect and genuine appreciation. A woman has the power to change her marriage significantly by implementing straightforward actions, such as seeking her husband's input on decisions, expressing gratitude for his efforts, addressing him with respect in public, recognizing his contributions to the family, and demonstrating physical affection and attraction. These are not groundbreaking ideas. They are fundamental acts of human decency. Yet, in today's marriages, such gestures have become so infrequent that when they do happen, men find themselves both surprised and appreciative. The reason these straightforward solutions remain unimplemented is that they necessitate women recognizing the value of men and treating them with respect. However, prevailing societal narratives suggest that honoring their husbands equates to submission, and that women should refrain from acknowledging male authority or contributions. Rather than adopting straightforward solutions that could enhance overall well-being, we persist with a framework that fosters discontent among men, pushes them away from commitment, and ultimately undermines the family unit. This serves as a clear example of the failures within the system. It is often observed that married men receive greater respect and appreciation from those outside their marriage than from their own spouses. This encompasses all aspects, from service workers to, indeed, even entertainers of that nature. Contemplate the mental ramifications of this situation. A man may find that he can invest in fleeting moments of pleasure and receive more authentic smiles, gratitude, and favorable attention than what he experiences from the partner he has devoted himself to. The performer expresses gratitude, attends to him with care, and ensures he feels appreciated. In the midst of his struggles, his wife offers criticism, overlooks his efforts, and regards him as a mere inconvenience. This is not a comparison one ought to engage in, yet it highlights the significant decline of marriage over time. When individuals receive better care from sex workers than from their partners, it signals a deep-seated issue within the institution itself. The dancer does not harbor affection for the man, yet she extends him fundamental respect, recognizing that such respect is essential for a functional exchange. The woman professes her love for the man, yet her actions reveal a disregard that surpasses how she would treat a mere acquaintance, as she underestimates the value of his dedication. This contradiction highlights the fundamental issue within contemporary marriage. It diminishes the motivation for women to treat men with respect, while ensnaring men in circumstances where they find themselves without options. The emotional toll inflicted by disrespectful marriages is leading to a significant mental health crisis among men. Yet society remains unwilling to recognize this reality. Suicide rates among middle-aged men have surged, with a significant number of these tragedies linked to marital issues and a profound sense of worthlessness. When you methodically undermine a person's sense of purpose, authority, and worth, you cultivate an environment ripe for depression, anxiety, and thoughts of self-harm. Men who once exuded confidence and capability now find themselves diminished, grappling with doubts about their worth and their role in the world. This challenge is intensified by the societal pressure on men to refrain from seeking assistance or sharing their emotions. Individuals are urged to confront their challenges with stoicism, yet they find themselves deprived of the conventional pillars of strength and identity that once supported them. The outcome is a cohort of individuals enduring their struggles quietly, seeking solace in alcohol, drugs, or other harmful habits. They are not weak. They are individuals facing the harsh realities of a system that was meant to uplift and support them, yet instead, it is eroding their mental well-being. In addition to the emotional and psychological burdens, the institution of marriage carries significant financial dangers for men. In the face of divorce, men often find themselves facing significant losses. They may see half of their assets acquired during the marriage diminished, with the family home frequently awarded to their spouse. Additionally, they may be burdened with considerable monthly alimony and child support payments, even in cases of joint custody. Their retirement savings and investments can also be impacted, along with potential setbacks in their career prospects, all due to the stress and demands that accompany the divorce process. In the midst of this, they frequently find themselves compelled to uphold the same standard of living for their former spouse, all the while significantly diminishing their own circumstances. Numerous divorced men find themselves residing in modest apartments, all the while bearing the financial burden of the family home they can no longer inhabit. The financial devastation is profound, leaving many men unable to find their footing again. They devote their lives to atoning for a marriage that did not succeed, while their former partners advance into new relationships, their financial stability preserved. The financial risks associated with marriage present a significant burden for men. When these risks are weighed alongside the additional costs and uncertainties, the decision appears utterly illogical from a financial planning standpoint. One of the most challenging aspects of contemporary marriage is the way children can be wielded as tools against men. Even while fulfilling their obligations and expressing a desire to engage in their children's lives, numerous divorced fathers experience marginalization and exclusion from significant decisions. Family courts often grant primary custody to mothers, irrespective of which parent may be more capable of nurturing the children. Fathers often find themselves as weekend visitors in their children's lives, bearing the financial responsibility for their upbringing. This framework encourages women to pursue divorce, as they understand they will retain authority over the children while also securing financial assistance. It provides them with significant leverage over others by imposing the threat of restricting access to their children. The emotional toll on men who experience a daily separation from their children is profound. They observe their children's growth from afar, grappling with the inability to shield them or steer them through the trials of life. Society has constructed a dilemma for men, where they face consequences regardless of their choices regarding marriage. When a marriage ends in failure, the weight of blame often falls on the husband, suggesting a shortcoming in his role. Choosing not to marry often leads to being labeled as someone who shies away from commitment or responsibility. Societal expectations compel numerous men into unions they do not genuinely desire, resulting in foreseeable adverse consequences. Individuals who find contentment in solitude often face societal pressure to enter commitments that lead to their unhappiness. The truth is that numerous individuals may find themselves ill-equipped to meet the challenges posed by contemporary marriage. They would experience greater happiness, enhanced productivity, and a deeper sense of fulfillment if they could dedicate their energy to their careers, hobbies, and personal growth, unburdened by the ongoing stress and turmoil of a troubled marriage. Yet society remains blind to the fact that marriage may not suit everyone, especially in its present state. Instead, It persistently directs men toward a system that prioritizes women's interests, ultimately undermining men's happiness and well-being. The men who decide to stay unmarried are not lacking in any way. They are making a wise decision that enables them to fully realize their happiness and potential. Single men possess the autonomy to manage their time and energy as they see fit, allowing them to chase their aspirations without distractions. They enjoy financial independence to invest in personal growth and future opportunities. They have the liberty to explore relationships with multiple partners without the weight of commitment, and they are shielded from the potential loss of assets that can accompany divorce. This lifestyle grants them the flexibility to move, shift careers, or embrace new challenges without hesitation. Serenity arises from the understanding that one is not ensnared by unfavorable circumstances. This does not imply shunning relationships completely. It signifies steering clear of the legal and societal entanglements of marriage while preserving the autonomy to engage with women according to your own principles. Numerous accomplished individuals have realized that it is possible to cultivate meaningful relationships, experience great intimacy, and achieve emotional satisfaction without the need for a formal marriage agreement. One can appreciate the advantages of female companionship while preserving personal autonomy and safeguarding one's resources. From a biological standpoint, it can be argued that men are not inherently suited for the kind of monogamy that contemporary marriage requires. Throughout human history, many accomplished individuals have engaged with multiple partners, reflecting a deep-seated instinct that persists in male psychology. Contemporary unions compel men to restrain their inherent inclinations and dedicate themselves to a single partner for eternity, frequently at a time when that partner may not be exerting the same effort to maintain their allure or appeal. This fosters inner turmoil and discontent, ultimately resulting in betrayal, separation, or enduring dissatisfaction. Those who grasp this biological truth and opt to align with it, rather than resist it, tend to experience greater happiness and fulfillment. They can explore different experiences in their romantic lives while steering clear of the constraints imposed by obligatory monogamy. From a rational perspective, entering into marriage can often be viewed as a poor financial decision for a man. The investment yields a negative return. The risks are substantial and the opportunity cost is considerable. A man who chooses to remain single can dedicate his resources to advancing his career, enhancing his education, improving his health, and securing his future. He is free to take risks, launch ventures, and accumulate wealth, unencumbered by the needs and opinions of a partner who may not align with his aspirations. The funds that married men allocate towards weddings, bigger homes, family getaways, and ultimately divorce attorneys could instead be directed towards investments that genuinely increase in value. The effort and resources devoted to navigating a challenging marriage could be redirected towards endeavors that yield enduring significance. Observing the paths of the most accomplished individuals throughout history reveals a pattern. Many chose to remain single or delayed marriage until later in life, often after reaching their significant aspirations. They recognized that marriage might serve as a diversion from achieving true greatness, rather than a means to attain it. The unvarnished truth is that contemporary women often lack the readiness or desire to embrace the role of a devoted wife. They have been guided to place their careers, independence, and personal fulfillment above their relationships and families. This situation isn't entirely their responsibility. It stems from years of societal conditioning that portrayed marriage as a burden and encouraged a mindset of rivalry with men instead of fostering collaboration. However, the outcome is a generation of women who are missing the essential skills, mindset, and drive needed to cultivate thriving marriages. Contemporary women frequently perceive marriage as a means to attain financial security and social standing rather than as a collaborative union where they add value. There is an expectation for men to adjust to the demands placed upon them, often receiving little in exchange aside from mere existence. Women who possess the wisdom to cultivate successful marriages are becoming increasingly scarce, often recognized and cherished by men who appreciate their worth from a young age. The typical individual stepping into the dating scene today may struggle to encounter a partner who truly enhances the value of marriage. Upon careful consideration of the evidence, including the psychological burdens, financial uncertainties, societal conditioning, absence of motivation, and the inherent inequities of the contemporary marriage agreement, the outcome is unmistakable. In the current era, entering into marriage presents significant challenges for men. The establishment that was originally intended to support both sides has now evolved into a framework that prioritizes women's interests, often at the expense of men's happiness, wealth, and freedom. It is wise to consider the path of independence, focusing on building a life that fully realizes your potential, free from the limitations and uncertainties that come with legal commitments. This does not imply that you are unable to cultivate relationships, experience love, or find companionship. It signifies the ability to possess all these things without binding yourself to an agreement that grants another the authority to disrupt your existence at their whim. The individuals who grasp this reality and take action are the ones destined to succeed in today's world. They will possess the autonomy to chase their aspirations, the means to secure their future, and the tranquility that arises from the understanding that they are not confined to a circumstance that brings them distress. Your decision lies in your hands. You may choose to cling to the idealized vision of marriage that society promotes, or you can confront the truth of what marriage has evolved into and make choices that align with your own well-being. Those who make thoughtful choices will find gratitude within themselves for all their days ahead. The individuals who disregard this counsel will bear the consequences for many years ahead. Your existence, your autonomy, and your contentment hold immense worth. Do not risk them on a system that is inherently structured to undermine you. Make your choice with careful consideration. If these words echo your truth, write this in the comments. I begin my journey. I read every one. And I walk this path with you. Subscribe, because the stories we've yet to tell are the ones that change us most. What did you think of the video? Be sure to give it a thumbs up and drop a comment to share if you journeyed all the way to the end of the video. Simply utter those words, and I'll understand that this video made a difference for you. Thank you kindly, and be sure to subscribe to the channel for more captivating tales like this one. I've set aside a few of our videos that will be quite beneficial for you. They appear before our eyes, alive on the screen.